Hey everybody, I am Lieutenant Governor Mandela Barnes, and I am so honored to be joining you all virtually for the 13th cohort of Outstanding Women of Color awardees. Now, UW-Madison is a place where amazing people come to develop and use their incredible talents to make our communities and our entire state a much better place. And these 6 women represent some of the best in the UW community. Now, from liberal arts to environmental sciences to health sciences, these honorees demonstrate true excellence in academia. And not only are they outstanding in their respective fields, they are also leaders in their advocacy, their pursuit of social justice, and their community building efforts on and off campus. And they serve as role models and resources for students and community members who may not always feel included or represented. And we all know that this campus and the state has much work to do in order for all people of color, especially our women, to be successful without having to overcome unnecessary barriers. So we have to step up and support and uplift these exemplary women as part of an ever-growing legacy. And I want to thank the honorees for making Wisconsin a much more diverse and inclusive and excellent place to live. So congratulations one more time. And on behalf of my office and the governor's office, please let us know how we can continue to support your efforts moving forward.
Welcome to our annual University of Wisconsin-Madison Outstanding Women of Color celebration. I'm Cheryl Gittens, Interim Deputy Vice Chancellor for Diversity and Inclusion and Chief Diversity Officer. I want to begin by acknowledging our collective heritage as a campus. The University of Wisconsin-Madison occupies Ho-Chunk land, a place their nation has called Dejope since time immemorial. In an 1832 treaty, the Ho-Chunk were forced to cede this territory. Decades of ethnic cleansing followed when both the federal and state government repeatedly, but unsuccessfully, sought to forcibly remove the Ho-Chunk from Wisconsin. This history of colonization informs our shared future of collaboration and innovation. UW-Madison respects the inherent sovereignty of the Ho-Chunk Nation, along with the 11 other First Nations of Wisconsin. Please take a moment to consider the many legacies of violence, displacement, migration, and settlement that brings us together here today. Thank you. Tonight, we're honoring the 13th cohort of Outstanding Women of Color, 6 women who we are proud to recognize for their academic endeavors, community outreach, and personal dedication to diversity, equity, and inclusion. And that's just the beginning. In their individual ways of teaching and giving, these honorees are building a better community and brighter future through education, mentoring, volunteer service, and more. These women are the ones we count on now, and we'll talk about in the future when we reminisce about progress and growth. They are the names that come to mind when someone asks, who can help? Or who would know where to start? We want to take a moment to shine the spotlight on a few unsung sheroes, not because they wanted to be honored or whatever expected, which is what makes this evening magic. Join us in letting this year's Outstanding Women of Color know that we see, respect, and appreciate all that they are doing. It's our tradition to pass the baton from one cohort to the next. Therefore, Dr. Laura Minero Mensah, an alumni awardee who was among last year's Amazing Sheroes, will prepare to pass that baton after we hear from our Chancellor. Chancellor Rebecca Blank took the helm of Wisconsin's flagship university in July 2013, bringing with her a deep commitment to educational excellence and innovation. A native Midwesterner, she earned an undergraduate degree in economics from the University of Minnesota and a doctoral degree in economics from MIT. Chancellor Blank is an internationally respected economist who also has spent time in Washington, D.C., working in 3 different administrations, including President Obama and President Bill Clinton. She has been a dean and professor at the University of Michigan and on the faculty at Northwestern and Princeton University. Her commitment to expanding and improving educational opportunities inside and outside the classroom to better prepare students to succeed in a rapidly changing economy has been the hallmark of her tenure at UW. Please join me in welcoming Chancellor Rebecca Blank.
Thank you, Dr. Gittens, for that kind introduction and for all that you've done to make sure we continue this annual tradition of recognizing the achievements and contributions of outstanding women of color at UW-Madison, even in a global pandemic. I also want to thank the selection committee for the hard work they put into reviewing more than 50 nominations and the staff who organized this program. And of course, the family, friends, colleagues, and nominators who supported and encouraged these 6 remarkable women. As you have heard, this is the 13th year for the Outstanding Women of Color Award. Over that time, we've honored 76 extraordinary women, faculty, staff, administrators, and students, people from every corner of campus who work in very different areas. The common thread across all of these winners is a commitment to changing lives through teaching and research, through programs that bring fresh perspectives and new ideas to our campus, through advocacy and activism, and by mentoring and supporting people on campus and in the community. As usual, this year we have a very impressive group. A fellow in the Division of Geriatrics and Gerontology at our School of Medicine and Public Health, the State Director of Nursing, the Dean who oversees our executive MBA programs, a doctoral student in counseling psychology, and professors in gender and women's studies and community and environmental sociology. To those of you who are joining us to support and celebrate these honorees, I hope you will not only honor their achievements and the ways in which they contribute to our campus and larger community, but also be inspired by their examples. And to our honorees, I hope you know how much we see and appreciate what you do for our community. This has been an extraordinary and difficult year, but it's also been a year that has brought new momentum to our efforts to create a community that is more diverse, more inclusive, and more welcoming. As I told the Regents last month, we will not allow the current financial crisis to derail these efforts. We will continue to invest in recruiting top people of color and making this campus the place they want to stay. As we celebrate your achievements, I feel very fortunate to lead this great university and to be part of the community we're creating. Congratulations on this award, and thank you for all that you have done and continue to do to help UW-Madison live up to its mission as a great public university.
Thank you so much for your kind words, Chancellor Blank. I'm sure that you are aware that you are a role model for our students and women everywhere. Good evening, everyone. I'm Dr. Laura Mineto and a 2019-2020 Outstanding Woman of Color honoree. Before we introduce this year's cohort of Outstanding Women of Color, which I'm so excited to get into, I'm going to explain how the honor is defined. Honorees are selected from among women of color who are UW-Madison faculty, staff, students, either undergraduate or post-baccalaureate, or in the greater Madison community, who have made outstanding contributions in one or more of the following 4 areas. The first, social justice, activism, and advocacy on behalf of disadvantaged, marginalized populations. The second, community service. Third, scholarly research, writing, speaking, and/or teaching on race, ethnicity, and indigeneity in U.S. society. And lastly, community building on or off campus to create an inclusive and respectful environment for all. So the women you're about to learn about are really, really incredible and have contributed so much to UW-Madison and our broader community. Each of this year's honorees are profiled in the online program, so please take some time to read all about them. They are incredible and also incredibly busy people, but you all probably assume that. We encourage you to reach out to one another and network. Everybody needs lunch or maybe some coffee, just a short break from saving the world. So let's get started.
Hi, I'm Dr. Taryn James, an assistant scientist at the UW-Madison Department of Medicine and Geriatrics. Tonight, I am proud to introduce our incredible, outstanding woman of color honoree, Dr. Shaniqua Bowes. Dr. Shaniqua Bowes is a person of quiet countenance, but resounding character and spirit. In 2018, she joined the UW-Madison's School of Medicine and Public Health and is one of those people who has the natural ability to positively impact people from all walks of life. This ability has been a great benefit to many, including her fellow colleagues at UW-Madison, her patients, and the greater Madison community that she serves. Shaniqua could have gone directly into a more lucrative clinical practice, but opted to pursue academic research in geriatrics that would advance her passion to create meaningful change in underrepresented populations in dementia research. She is dedicated to volunteering in health improvement and creating important relationships between the UW-Madison health services, including COVID-19 and underrepresented communities. What makes Dr. Bowes so appropriate for this honor is her rare combination of medical skill, academic intelligence, and respectful interaction with people, especially the community of elders she serves in geriatrics. She balances her knowledge with medical acumen with an approachable style, serving a population that is often ignored due to racism, ageism, and neglect. I now present the 2020-2021 Outstanding Woman of Color Award to Dr. Shaniqua Bowes.
Thank you for that wonderful introduction, Dr. James. It is with great pleasure that I receive this award. I would first like to thank the Lord for blessing me with this opportunity. I thank my husband, family, and friends who have supported me throughout these years. I thank all of my mentors, advisors, coaches, and pseudo-moms who have continued to encourage me throughout this process. I would like to thank everyone on the Outstanding Women of Color Selection Committee for providing me the privilege to accept this high distinction. I am grateful for the outstanding mentors, advisors, and colleagues I have gained since joining the University of Wisconsin in the Department of Medicine. I am grateful for those in the Division of Geriatrics who wrote a letter of recommendation on my behalf. I am glad the university provides this type of honor to women of color making outstanding contributions in social justice, community service, scholarly research, or community building. These opportunities provide the fuel needed for me to continue on my journey. Encouragement to continue providing community service, researching alternative recruitment strategies to find ways to increase diversity in our research participants, as well as working hard to continue serving others while increasing dementia awareness. I would like to end by sharing the famous words of Robert Frost. Two roads diverge in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has truly made all of the differences in my life. The road less traveled has led me to an infinite amount of opportunities 16 hours away from home. It's led me into my career goal where I am able to do the things which bring me joy, such as community outreach, aging research, and dementia care. I thought I had the master plan. However, life experiences have guided me down the road less traveled, and it has truly been worth each and every bit of hesitation. To all the outstanding women receiving this award who have certainly taken that road less traveled as well, congratulations. thank each and every one of you for your time and this outstanding award. Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Barbara Bowers, professor in the School of Nursing at UW-Madison. And our outstanding woman of color honoree is the amazing Mary Muse. For more than 30 years, Mary has dedicated her nursing career to advocating for individuals whose health care is received in correctional settings. Currently serving as director for the Wisconsin Corrections System, a director of nursing, Mary has had a significant and sustained impact on the quality of correctional care nationally and in Wisconsin. She's led the development and the implementation of evidence-based, compassionate standards of care. Mary is a tireless advocate for those who our society would prefer not to serve and even not to see. Her work has had a strong positive impact on the health of inmates and those who care for them. She's a seasoned nurse leader, a nationally sought expert, co-founder and board member of correctional health nursing organizations, several of them. As a scholar, she's co-edited the newest edition of the American Nurses Association Scope and Standards of Practice for Correctional Nursing, and she co-edits a special edition of Correctional Nursing for the Journal of Correctional Healthcare. Mary is an outstanding woman of color whose work is a unique form of social justice advocacy. Through education, recruitment, training, advocacy at every level of nursing practice, she's promoting better nursing care and changing the view of inmates as full, deserving people with needs, from nutrition and disease control to mental health and compassionate reproductive care. Congratulations, Mary, on being awarded an outstanding woman of color.
Thank you, Barbara. I want to thank you for your support, your guidance, and for nominating me for this award. It means a lot. I am very appreciative of the recognition from the University of Wisconsin-Madison, the School of Nursing, and from you. I'd also like to take an opportunity to thank my parents, Morant and Juanita Mitchell, because without them, I would not be here and I would not have had the opportunity to accomplish the things that I've been able to do in my nursing career. It is their support and their guidance that has helped me do what I have done. I've wanted to be a nurse ever since I was 7 years old. That was my focus, and I pursued that career opportunity. I've loved nursing. It is a passion for me. And 25 years ago, when I had the opportunity to come into corrections, I found out that there was a different niche. And I didn't choose correction. It just kind of fell into my lap. I was working at a major medical center here as a pediatric nurse. I had worked for years. Then went to be the director of critical care med-surg nursing in Kansas City. Kind of came back, went to a class reunion, and someone said, I'd like you to come over to Cook County Jail. So that's how I got introduced to corrections and came to work in corrections. And what I found out was that there was a lot to be done, that corrections needed to have a nursing voice from a nurse leader. And I also found out that nurses were looking for support and guidance, and that there was so much opportunity for our population. I really am humbled by the experience of leading and working in corrections. It gives you a different perspective on life. It moves you from what your safe community to understanding the struggles of others who come through the criminal justice system. There are over 7 million people that are some part of the criminal justice system. And they don't just wake up in the morning and decide, well, I'm going to rob a store. Some individuals have been victims or subjected to the social determinants of health since they came into the world. The access to healthcare has been an issue. And what we sometimes find with those who come into corrections is that they are very sick, and or they have lacked the routine health care that they should have. And what we have to do is see that we can provide the health care that they need to get them to a state of wellness, believing that if someone is healthy and well, they make better decisions. So that's what we try to do. The other thing that I think has been important, was to try to give correctional nurses an opportunity to be proud of what they do, their contributions to impacting the lives of others, and to give correctional nursing visibility. They have not always had that visibility because one tends to think of healthcare in our traditional healthcare settings, which is understandable. I certainly did, but there is a lot of work that goes on in corrections, and we are impactful on people's lives. And so my role has really been improve the quality of care delivery for those who are in our system and nationally, and to give voice and visibility to correctional nurses, to empower them to reach, to stretch, to be better, and to connect with the larger community of corrections. I'm surprised I'm here, but it's been 25 years or more now. And one of my colleagues, Dr. Janice Phillips, who I'm also thankful for, we went to high school together, and she said, when I first went into corrections, I knew Mary was going places. I never knew it was to jail. But it has been a great opportunity. I think that I've always been a passionate nurse, but to find a place where I can truly make a difference has been meaningful to me. I've been successful with many things, but because I've had the support of others around me, my colleagues, staff that have worked with me who sometimes didn't understand, why is Mary doing this, but were willing to walk with me. So that's made the difference. And at the Department of Corrections, I also want to thank the Secretary for the Department, Kevin Carr, for his support and for him recognizing what I am trying to do. I also would like to thank Makta Fasahid, who was our administrator, who also recognized where I was going. In corrections, many things are, safety of the public is important. And so we have to approach things with that in mind. But safety is the safety not only in terms of Social Security perspective, it's also health, safety in terms of health. And so I would say that Secretary Carr and Makta really have supported my passion for elevating nursing, for ensuring quality care. And I think the other piece is it gives us an opportunity to connect with our community, because what we do in correctional health is really public health. There's a perception that sometimes when individuals are incarcerated, that those of us who work in the criminal justice system don't care. We do care, at least I care. And I try to surround myself with individuals who care. But we have to get that. That's our public health message we have to get out. We care about those who we care for. And we recognize that they've already been sentenced. It's not our job to try to add punishment on top of that. It is our job to give them opportunities to be healthy, to learn additional skill sets. And sometimes individuals may have a longer sentence, but their experiences, they actually share with others. I actually serve as a surveyor, so I've had an opportunity to talk to individuals and what they did or what brought them into the criminal justice system. And sometimes their experiences make them a different person. And they maybe can't change their life experience, what got them to where they are, but they have a son or a daughter, and they're able to pass that on back to them. So I am thankful for that. So I again thank the University of Wisconsin, Dean Scott, the School of Nursing for this recognition, because it's not often that the correctional healthcare specialty is recognized. We're kind of silent and behind bars, I like to think about, but it has been my mission to get the voice of correctional nursing, correctional healthcare out with the public. Thank you for this opportunity. Thank you for recognizing the work that I have tried to do, and I will continue to do it with the help of all those who I encounter. Thank you so much.
Good evening. I'm Stephanie Budge. I'm an associate professor of counseling psychology here at UW-Madison in the School of Education. Our amazing, outstanding woman of color honoree is Jessica Perez-Chavez. Jessica Perez-Chavez is a PhD student and mentee who has distinguished herself by engaging in psychological research related to Latinx mental health. Sharing on behalf of all of her academic mentors, we've had both the honor and opportunity to know Jessica across many different contexts and across time. So we can introduce her to you as somebody who's committed to the advancement of racial and ethnic minorities in the United States and beyond. Our first interactions with Jessica date back over 10 years ago, and some of us have known her since high school when she was applying to college, and she reached out to mentors regarding the field of psychology and inquired about research opportunities. All of us have been impressed by her resilience, academic excellence, and strong commitment to community service. Even as a teenager, she overcame being a low-income, undocumented immigrant and first-generation English speaker, and she was able to graduate as a valedictorian of her high school class. And she has distinguished herself for being a young community leader by pioneering the Dreamers movement, which led to the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals, or DACA. Jessica has continued to grow in her knowledge, her initiative, her determination, work ethic, critical skills, and compassion. As a researcher, as a therapist, as an activist, as a PhD student, with a desire to create positive change in society, not only for herself, but for others. We've witnessed her grow, shine, and develop into an outstanding scholar and professional, and she is absolutely one of the strongest, warmest, most compassionate, committed, and caring individuals that I have ever met. And she uses her skills to improve the lives of others. And so here to accept the Outstanding Women of Color Award is Jessica Perez-Chavez.
Thank you, Stephanie. Again, my name is Jessica Guadalupe Perez-Chavez, and it is a great honor to be with you all here in community today. I'm quite humbled to receive this award, to share this moment with both my immigrant community as well as my family. And I want to start off by thanking my nominator and my advisor, Dr. Stephanie Budge. I'm really taking it in, everything that you just shared about me, so thank you. I also thank my mentors, Dr. Hector Adames, Dr. Nayeli Chavez, and Dr. Stephen Quintana for having written about the work that I do with immigrant communities as a researcher, as a clinician, as well as an activist. And of course, I want to thank the UW-Madison Outstanding Women of Color Selection Committee for awarding me this incredible recognition. In uplifting me, you all have also uplifted my family and my community. And for me, this award is particularly meaningful to me because I come from a very strong legacy of Mexican women of indigenous descent. And I was raised not by one, but by 6 strong and brave immigrant women. And one of them was my grandmother, who is also the matriarch of my family. My grandmother, or my abuelita, left a long-lasting legacy and an impact in the woman that I am today. I cherish all these childhood memories I have of her, specifically of her taking me to a fabric store that was just a block away from where we lived. She would buy all kinds of fabrics and spend so much time finding just the right fabric that was warm and colorful and vibrant. She would buy this fabric to make clothes and pillowcases for everyone in our extended family. And you must understand, there's a lot of us. It was a laborious job, and I often wondered why she did it. Over the years, I've come to understand that my grandmother's sewing projects were not just a labor of her love, but that she was doing something that she loved and that she was good at. Inspired by my abuelita, activism became my fabric store. It grounded me and it gave me comfort and became a way to share my skills and talents with my community. Like Stephanie said, over a decade ago, I joined forces with other undocumented immigrant youth activists. Together, we paved the way for what was known as the undocumented youth movement. And today, my activism continues to be a thing through my research and through my scholarship and clinical work. and my involvement with immigrant communities here in Madison. In a beautiful, beautiful way, I found activism just like my grandmother had found the fabric store that she loved. Right down the street, and yes, full of warmth, colors, and vibrance. Much like the fabric my grandmother always picked when she went to the fabric store, I imagined that the cloth that I was cut from as layered and colorful and sturdy. It is made up of all the stories and the values of the women who have come before me, including my mother, my aunts, and yes, my grandmother, as well as all the women of color whose activism and resistance have paved the way for me. As I continue my journey, I will continue to honor their legacy and their contributions by using my skills and my talents to sow something that can be shared with others. I will also continue to cherish this. Thank you so much.
Good evening. We're Enno Siemsen and Jean Sink from the Wisconsin School of Business, and we're here to introduce our amazing, outstanding Woman of Color honoree, Leslie Petty. Since Leslie Petty has stepped into her position as the Assistant Dean of Evening Executive and Corporate Executive MBA programs at the Wisconsin School of Business in 2013, she has been a key partner in enhancing diversity and inclusion, particularly through program reform in the Evening and Executive MBA programs. With more than 20 years of experience in adult education, she instituted an initiative embedding diversity and inclusion programming into the Evening and Executive MBA programs, which has become a distinguishing factor among peer business schools. Her collaboration with MBA faculty and the WSB Diversity and Inclusion Office has been transformative for students and staff. She's preparing business and community organizations to be ethical and inclusive leaders who are aware of unconscious bias and cultural and racial differences, is an unwavering commitment on campus and in the community.
And she's brave. Leslie is unafraid to lead courageous discussions on sensitive or politically charged topics as an instructor, campus mentor, or as a community organization board member. The candor and richness of these discussions contributes to a heightened awareness of the differences in lived experiences, both in opportunities and challenges. Leslie is gently yet effectively helping everyone make decisions differently at their workplace, specifically in whom they hire, promote, or even serve at a local food pantry by reflecting on the diversity within their network. Above all, she is a mentor across the business school and campus for other Black professionals, providing inspiration and development for many young professionals. That includes volunteering in the community to make the lives of women and families in need better. We are proud to announce Leslie Petty as the 2020-2021 Outstanding Woman of Color recipient. Congratulations.
Thank you, Enno and Jean. I am honored and deeply humbled to accept the Outstanding Woman of Color Award at the University of Wisconsin-Madison and to join fellow recipients who are incredibly accomplished and deserving of this recognition. A very special thanks to the Outstanding Woman of Color Selection Committee charged with the challenging job of narrowing down the list of nominees. An enormous salute to all nominees. You are all worthy to be recognized for your respective contributions at the university and our community. A big thank you goes out to my husband, David Petty, and our two wonderful children, David Jr. and Christopher, for giving me unconditional love and support. You are my rock and anchor that keep me on solid ground. And to my colleagues at the Wisconsin School of Business and our evening MBA student, Paul Dion, thank you for believing in me and believing in the work that I do at the university and the Madison community. Your nomination means the world to me. I am grateful to my boss, Dr. Eno Simpson, for his continuous support. I am also grateful to these wonderful colleagues that I get to work with every day. Banu Potahil from the Office of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion, Jean Sink in Career Management from Evening Executive and Professional MBA Programs, Lynn Snyder, Director of Student Services from the Department of Evening Executive and Professional MBA Programs, and Amanda Earle, Associate Director of Career Management in the Office of Evening Executive and Professional MBA Programs. In addition to my colleagues, I also extend gratitude to Shayna Lewis from Strange, Patterson, Renning, Lewis, and Lacey Law Firm, and to Michael Johnson, CEO and President of the Boys and Girls Club, for their support and nomination. To all of you, I have great admiration for the service and contributions you make within your industry and our community. I especially would like to dedicate this award to my late mother, Mary Carolyn Smith, who inspired my lifelong commitment to education of youth, coupled with community service in marginalized neighborhoods. My mother was a single parent of 5 children, 4 sons, and me as the youngest. This 4-foot, 10-inch, feisty, courageous, intelligent woman raised us to be independent, educated, and resilient in the inner city of West Philadelphia. And my brothers and I are better because of her faith, teachings, discipline, and love. She was a staunch Catholic and understood how the power of education builds knowledge, confidence, and breaks down barriers for opportunity. For children, she knew education is the key to open the door for a better life. With persistence and hard work, she made it her mission to ensure poor kids from West Philadelphia had the same equal level playing field as middle and upper class neighborhoods by starting a youth center in the basement of our church, Our Lady of Victory. This was a place where kids could go during the evenings and weekends for meals, counseling, academic and co-curricular programming. Most notable was the way she empowered youth and young adults to strive for academic excellence in the spirit of faith, while at the same increasing an Afrocentric awareness toward building a stronger community. You may wonder, how does she do this? Working full-time, raising a family. She did this through passion and commitment for a better world for Black students whose future may not have been as bright if it wasn't for my mother believing in them. It's this legacy that I expand upon daily in my work with the Boys and Girls Club of Dane County, setting an example for the power of education with authentic service and celebration of differences in what will shape our youth for tomorrow. And I remain committed to fulfilling the promise of the Outstanding Woman of Color Award, collaborating with colleagues, students, and community partners to facilitate diverse and inclusive programming for a more equitable nation and world. Again, to each of you, thank you so much for this incredible award.
Hi, I'm Janet Hyde, Chair of the UW-Madison Department of Gender and Women's Studies. I'm here to introduce our marvelous, outstanding Woman of Color honoree, Sammy Schock. Dr. Sammy Schock joined UW-Madison in 2017 as an assistant professor after we recruited her from the University at Albany, State University of New York. In the 3.5 years since her arrival, she has made significant impacts and contributions to UW and the Madison community. Sammy speaks around the country at universities about her research. Her first book, Body Minds Reimagined, has sold over 2,000 copies and been positively reviewed more than 20 times. She is currently finishing a second book, Black Disability Politics, which explores the history of Black activist engagement with disability as a political concern. Sammy's academic research both informs and is informed by her activism in the larger world, a commitment she brings to the classroom as well. Her positive course evaluations and full courses with extensive wait lists make clear that in the short time she has worked at UW, Sammy has made a name for herself as an engaging and impactful educator. Her students are encouraged to research ideas that they are passionate about and produce final projects that creatively engage social justice. Sammy's teaching is as exceptional as her research and community activism. Sammy is an active leader in the Community Pride Coalition, a regular columnist for Our Lives magazine, Madison's local LGBTQ publication, and she was named the Outreach Community Center's LGBTQ Advocate of the Year. She is a vocal public supporter of the Black Lives Matter movement, undeterred by threats and coordinated harassment from right-wing individuals and organizations. I am thrilled to present the Outstanding Woman of Color Award to Dr. Sammy Schock.
Thank you, Janet. Good evening, everyone. Congratulations to all of the other award winners. Tonight, I'm honored to be with you. Thank you for this award. Being a Black, queer, disabled woman in academia is not easy, but many people before me worked hard to create space for me to be here. And I hope that my presence and my work does the same for future women of color, queer folks, and disabled people. The system of higher education was not built by or for people like us. It is our job not to change ourselves to fit inside of the existing model, but to change the system to include and support all of us so that we may bring the many important skills, knowledges, and pleasure practices we have developed as marginalized people in a world that wants to erase us. I am part of a legacy of Black, queer, and disabled women who refuse to be erased and demand to be known. Women like Octavia E. Butler, Audre Lorde, Johnny Lacey, and Angela Davis, to name a few. I did not plan to become a professor, even when I applied to graduate school, and I certainly did not expect to be tenured at a Research One institution. I knew too many brilliant people who had been forced out of academic spaces, but somehow, for some reason, here I am. I am grateful to work somewhere that respects my freedom of speech so that I can do the research and teaching work that I love while still being true to my politics and myself. I am not here to be a token or a mascot. I'm here to make things better for people like me so that current and future marginalized students do not have to experience the same traumas and harms that I did to get here. I am here to make it easier for marginalized people to get the education they need to do the work they were born to do. As I accept this award, there are many people I would like to thank, and I cannot name them all, but here are a few. First, thank you to Dr. Lamonda Horton-Stallings and Dr. Marlon M. Bailey for preparing me for the extra, invisible, and often uncompensated labor I would be expected to do as a Black queer woman professor. I was ready and able to succeed because of having good, honest Black queer mentors early in my career. Next, I'd like to thank the students who have taken my classes over the past few years here at UW. Your eagerness to learn and to change the world keeps me energized and hopeful. I also want to thank the people of Freedom Inc. who have taught me so much about organizing and community building. It's an honor to be a small part of the essential liberation work that Freedom Inc. does in this city and throughout the state. Thank you as well to my colleagues in the Department of Gender and Women's Studies for giving me a long-term professional home where I feel valued and supported. Finally, I want to thank my chosen queer family, especially my partner Jess, for all the love, care, and support that they provide me, more than I even knew was possible, helping me to continually grow into my highest and best self. I cannot wait until we are all together again, dancing in our most spectacular outfits. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Mike Bell, Chair of the UW-Madison Department of Community and Environmental Sociology. And I'm pleased to introduce our incredible Outstanding Woman of Color honoree, Dr. Monica White. Associate Professor Monica White continues to blaze trails that dare me, that dare my faculty, and dare all our students to follow. She is transformational, catalytic, powerful, and a force for good in our department and everywhere else her work and efforts have touched. Like at the Nelson Institute for Environmental Studies, where she is making critical changes to help produce a challenging but welcoming landscape for environmental studies. And at the College of Agricultural and Life Sciences, where she is the college's first tenured African-American woman. Monica quietly does vast supportive work. As students from historically underrepresented communities make their way through the maze of this institution, she has proved to be a reliable, stalwart, and sympathetic destination. Students come to her with thoughts, problems, and crises, small and large. But Monica carries this heavy community load lightly, modestly, and adroitly. Like it said on the parachute of the Mars lander last week, she helps them dare mighty things. In terms of intellectual power and momentum, I'm also enormously pleased to have Monica demonstrating academic leadership for our faculty and our students. She teaches compelling courses and publishes hugely important research, most notably her 2019 book, Freedom Farmers, Agricultural Resistance, and the Black Freedom Movement. Monica is also constantly giving public talks and keynotes around the country, at least once a month, it seems. She is a true engaged scholar. And she's taking that commitment to engagement even further through becoming the founding director of the Office of Environmental Justice and Engagement at the Nelson Institute. This office will synergize a partnership with the Native Nations in Wisconsin, the undergraduate diversity-focused Community Environmental Scholars Program, and our campus's work on urban environmental justice and food issues. Monica is not just outstanding. She's just not outstanding around. She is out there doing on behalf of us all. Now, to receive this much-deserved award, Dr. Monica White.
Thank you, Mike. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for supporting me and for that warm welcome, that introduction. Thank you. I am truly honored to be recognized as Outstanding Woman of Color. I'm eternally grateful for this recognition by the committee members. To my co-awardees, your commitment to the work on campus and the community are awe-inspiring and the kind of transformation that we need to see so much more of. A huge thank you to those who nominated me. To my department, Community Environmental Sociology, Nan, Jane, Mike, and my dear friend colleagues, you are a joy to work and build with. To the Nelson Institute for Environmental Studies, Paul, and my other dear friend leagues, I'm grateful to work with incredibly thoughtful people who want the best for campus and for the planet. To my students and my TAs, my RAs, and those who take my classes, I'm eternally grateful to you for teaching me new software, but also for pushing my ideas beyond where I thought they could reach. To my family, my mother Maggie, my father Maurice, my sister Marilyn, I am because we are. You taught me the love of all that is intellectual. And to my partner, Anthony James Brewer, my rock, my comfort, my everything, I love you. To Baba Malik Yakini of the Detroit Black Community Food Security Network, thank you for introducing me to the work that would change me and would connect me to the passions of my life. To Detroiters, you are my community of solutionaries who are constantly improving the lives of others and showing the world what a just transformation looks like. You've become my family, Black people returning to the land to rebuild community. I owe a tremendous amount of gratitude to the farmers, to food and environmental justice activists, community leaders, and others who have influenced the direction of our work. I'm grateful for the time you've taken to share your ideas, answer my questions, and offer your time, effort, and patience as you work toward building a healthy and whole community. A decade ago, I tried to deny fate. I thought I wasn't coming to UW-Madison and was going elsewhere. But Jane Collins and Greg Mittman knew otherwise. They talked me on the plane, helped me develop my ideas, and introduced me to the magic that is Madison that changed the trajectory of my career and my life. I came to Madison knowing a lot about Detroit, about urban agriculture and community-based food systems. I knew about building a just, sustainable food system that worked toward a just society. Being here in Madison, I've learned a lot about agriculture and people whose labor has fed our communities for generations. I've met scholars who so freely share their intellectual gifts and use their talents to help shine yours. I've met farmers who've welcomed me into their lives, offered me their agricultural and environmental knowledge, invited me to their grandchildren's volleyball games, and shared dreams and decades of stories, more than will fill a library of books. I've met urban gardeners and recent farmers who've taught themselves how to grow food, but also how to be good stewards of the earth. They fought incredible odds for their plots of land and to be able to supplement their families' diets and to teach the next generation all about growing food and how the earth heals. I've met colleagues who've become more like family. When many of us have lived places all over the world, we've built a community that makes this place feel much more like home. I work with administrators who've given me the space to develop my dreams and the support to make them happen. I've met Madison residents who knew and loved people that I study, and they've shared their memories and gifts with me so freely. I speak specifically about Franklin Peterson, a personal friend and photographer of Fannie Lou Hamer, but also Jeff and Sarah Goldstein, who were members of the organization Madison Measure for Measure. I work with staff and faculty who always answer my calls and never say no and support the work going above and beyond at all times. I'm eternally grateful for my Detroit raising, my community connections, and the ways they help me find and define the research passions, but also the passions of my heart. I'm eternally grateful to Madison that has allowed me to expand my understanding and my ability to create new ways to solve yesterday's, today's, and tomorrow's questions of mutual aid in response to community health and wellness. I thank you all as we work toward caring for ourselves and each other, as we teach and learn new ways of being healthy, being happy, and being whole. Thank you.
Congratulations to the 2020-2021 honorees. I remember how excited and happy I was last year. I was also humbled because I can say for my fellow honorees, we're not the kind of people who look for recognition or even expect it. That's not why we do what we do. There's so much work, teaching, and research to do on so many issues that are impacting so many people that supporting our communities is a reward within itself. The rest of us can't wait to meet you in person. Congratulations once again. Please take the time to celebrate yourself and each other.
Aren't they just wonderful? Did you feel that? I can't stop smiling. Every year, we find countless candidates who are going above and beyond in their life work and contributions like these women. Since 2007, we've honored more than 60 women with the help of colleagues who bring them to our attention and a committee that invests amazing effort into the selection process. The beautiful part is that there are hundreds more women doing wonderful things. Right now, I especially want to thank the colleagues and associates who submit the nominations we receive, this year more than 50, and for bringing all of these incredible women to our attention. Thanks. You are the ones who see them, work beside them, mentor them, and lift them up to be honored. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I also want to sincerely and repeatedly thank the Outstanding Women of Color Selection Committee, starting with the co-chairs, Tracy Williams-Macklin and Lindsay Stoddard-Cameron. We celebrate a new cohort once a year, but the selection process is a year-round process. There's an amazing committee whose members spend hours reading dozens of applications and working to choose the final honorees. It's not an easy choice. Our former Vice Chancellor, Ruby Paredes, launched the UW-Madison Honors Program because the UW System Award couldn't accommodate the volume of deserving UW-Madison women, which continues to grow. And it's worth noting that the very first Outstanding Woman of Color was our beloved Mercille J. Lee in 1995. So the bar has always been extremely high. There are no winners and losers, but there is no cutoff for deserving women. We highlight a few, but this is a huge sisterhood. More than anything, we want each of you to know that while you're working hard, there's someone nearby who is also on this journey with you. And most importantly, we want you all to recognize that we appreciate you and we thank you. Thank you for celebrating with us today. Thank you for being part of this wonderful community. Thank you for being inspirational and supportive. Thank you, Outstanding Women.